Joining us now is a custom jeweler, Aret Oymakas, who has been involved in the business since he was 12. Welcome, Aret.
Good to be here. Thank you so much.
So this is a family business, obviously.
It started out working with and helping my parents with their jewelry business, but now obviously I'm on my own, and I'm doing my own thing.
So we're talking today about how proposals have evolved, and needless to say, weddings have become center stage events and extravaganzas over the last few years. And if you look on television, there's just back-to-back wedding shows, picking the dress, planning the wedding. Every aspect gets bigger and grander. Does this surprise you, given the divorce rate?
It should, but it doesn't, because everybody wants to feel like a princess, like a queen on that day. So it's their moment, it's their day, and if they're able to do it, they want the best and something that's memorable.
So how do you think that engagements, in particular proposals, have changed in the past decade?
Well, I mean, looking back, even when I was younger working with my parents, it was the typical walking into the store, having a choice of 10, 15 designs, choosing the ring, and then on the right day, on the right moment, making the proposal. It's changed because now there's so many different types of rings, different metals used, different shapes. So it is a bit more of a complex decision to be made. So we nowadays, even though the proposal itself, the way it's presented, and when it's presented is still a surprise. It's people are buying it differently. For example, most of my clients come together, and we sit down and we try to put meaning in the ring so that it's unique, it's different. We don't just put something together and say, here you go. I try to extract something about their love story to see if I can utilize that in their ring. Usually they come together to make those initial decisions. But the way it's presented, when it's presented, where it's presented is, in most cases, still a major surprise.
Yeah, it wasn't a major surprise. We selected a ring. We had custom jeweler do our ring.
Yes.
But my husband's proposal is classic. I can still do it right. He slammed the ring on the table and said, "There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, babe. I love you and I want you to be my wife." So romantic.
Everybody has their way.
But are you finding, for example, I think in past generations, the man would go in, get the ring, and then propose, get down on his knees and hand her the ring. Now, are you finding that it's much more the two of them?
I would say about 70% come together.
Yeah.
Again, because there's so many choices out there, unlike 20, 30 years ago, it's kind of overwhelming for one party to choose the ring. It's hard because, like I said, there's so many choices. Sometimes the one party leaves hints on Pinterest just to kind of say, this is what I'm looking for, hint, hint. But in most cases, they come together and make that initial decision together.
Well, I have friends who have actually asked their girlfriends to talk to their boyfriends and say, if you decide, or they know that they're getting close to it, this is what I like. And here are the pictures. And don't let him go and buy this on his own.
It happens. Again, every client I meet with has a unique way of deciding what they want and the process itself. But yeah, usually in worst case scenarios, even if it's just one party buying the ring, there are many hints that have been made. So it's kind of like hard to really screw up.
Have you got a good story from one of your clients about something that happened?
Yes. For example, I actually have the ring with me. I just finished it, so I thought I'd bring it in.
Great.
It's a gentleman and a lady that lived in Winnipeg. Both of them actually lived in Winnipeg, but didn't know of each other in Winnipeg. For some reason, they were in Toronto at the same time. They met in Toronto, and it all began from there. So now that they're back in Winnipeg, they're together. But everything happened and started in Toronto. So to symbolize that,
You made them a CN Tower ring?
I did.
Oh!
Did you know about that?
No, I just guessed. I got to see this.
So I subtly incorporated the CN Tower at the very bottom of the ring. It kind of wraps around.
I see. You
and,
did.
And their initials on underneath the center stone.
Oh, there. I don't know. We'll talk. You'll have to
That's
look closely
amazing.
on our YouTube channel. We'll take a close up of
Of
this
course.
and put it up.
Yeah.
But it is. It's beautiful. There, have a look, Kristen.
So
There's
at
a
the
little
end
CN
of the
Tower.
day, is it all about the big diamond, though?
In most parts, yeah. It's about the center stone.
It's about the center stone because
Yes.
that hasn't changed.
No, it hasn't changed. The shapes that are popular now has, again, so many years ago it was a choice of round or square. Now we have many different shapes that are available and that are popular at this moment.
But you remember when it used to be the one sticking up?
The solitaire.
The solitaire,
Yes.
right? That people would knock and lose the diamond all the time.
Yes.
And I don't see that anymore.
It's still popular. Some people just want a simple ring. It's not every customer that I deal with is a unique ring, and it's different. Sometimes it's just a plain solitaire, and that's what they want.
Have you got a couple of tips for people embarking on the design process?
Yeah. First of all, you have to see what shape really you're attracted to. Even if it's not a popular shape, it might be something that makes you feel warm and fuzzy, and that's what you should go with. You shouldn't go with what mainstream tells you to go with. It should be something that you're going to enjoy wearing today, as well as 20, 30 years down the road. And that's another thing. People go with what they like today and do all these crazy things because it's in fashion. But you also have to think you're going to wear this ring for a long time, and it should be something that you think you'll be happy and enjoy 20, 30 years down the road.
So if I had, let's say, a ring from a parent or a grandparent, could I bring in the stone and have you redesign it?
I do that.
Because it meant something to me emotionally, the stone?
Yes. We can even actually use the metal that's in the old ring as well as the center stone and incorporate the gold in the new ring as well, or the metal itself along with the center stone.
That's really heartening to know, actually,
Yes.
because I think sometimes you don't want the older setting, but you want something from...
You want the sentiment from...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I do that as well. I've done a lot of rings where we've used grandma's diamond or mom's ring to make something new.
So how long a process is it? Because people sometimes need a heads up of, they can't go in and get it in 3 days.
No. What I do it's a little different is because we do the work ourselves, I'm able to create a prototype of the ring. So we call it like a dummy ring or a travel ring. So I create that so that when they look at the prototype, they know what the real ring is going to look like. And if there's any changes that need to be made, we can make it at that point. So it kind of eliminates the whole, nervousness about ordering a ring, hoping it comes out the way you want. What if it doesn't? Then what? So that's all eliminated with the prototype ring.
So how long?
The prototype ring will usually take about 2 to 3 weeks.
Right.
And if it's approved, it takes another 2 weeks. So let's just say a month in total.
And cost-wise, are you 5 times more than what's in the store,
Oh, no.
or are you affordable?
I would say I'm less than what you get at the malls because I try to keep my costs down. And because it's on an order basis, I don't stock up on any stones and jewelry that's ready to wear. And we do the work ourselves. Again, I don't ship the design off to an outside company to be made. It's all done in-house.
So how can people get in touch with you and find you?
Online. It's www.liviadiamonds.com.
Livia, that's Livia.
Yes.
LiviaDiamonds.com. Thank you very much for coming in, Aret.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
She might just change.